YouTube family? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Me and My Life and Society. As you guys know, it is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I wanted to dedicate a segment to the man. And what better way to know how a man feels than to ask them? So I have special guests with me, you guys. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. You guys can introduce yourselves. Go ahead.
Oh, my name is Juan, Juan McCurry, the_practical_Juan on Instagram.
It's your boy Kell. Find me NUE.KELLY, New Kelly on Instagram.
My name is Amor Tavera. Find me Amori__2.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Tyler.
What's that, Tyler?
You guys can follow me at @new_Tyler.
Good. Thank you guys so much for being a part of my channel and being my guest today. I just want to give you guys a little bit of background of what mental health is. So mental health includes our emotions, physical, social, and well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make healthy choices. So I want to get into a couple of questions to figure out how does a man feel about mental health. So for the first question, why is mental health important for a man in particularly?
Well, you want to go?
Go ahead.
So mental health is very important because it definitely is how we all regulate. Like, this is how you regulate, how you take everything in, how you put out. As men, we deal with a lot.
Yeah.
Whether you see it or you don't see it, we deal with a lot. How somebody might have talked to us, how somebody might have looked at us, how somebody might have treated us. We're always, balancing all of that. And especially with men, we don't show our emotions. We kind of hide those behind a wall, essentially, to the world. That's like private reflecting. That's when you can really be like emotional or mental or whatever you got going on. That's where you let it all out in private. So, your mental health is very important because we don't have somebody who immediately can take that and like help us with that or whatever. Not everybody has therapy.
Right.
Not everybody has somebody they can talk to. Men especially, I think it's easier for women to find that person to talk to. Like, they can share with other women. Yeah, sometimes it might come back up, but typically y'all are more open with sharing it with other women. I'm not, as a guy, we don't share with other men.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
It's very important to keep that balanced.
Anyone else got a feedback?
I think mental health is crucial for men. Unfortunately, I agree with Tyler because a lot of people don't really express themselves because I think growing up as a man, it doesn't feel like people really care about your mental state. They just you're get over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you are a man.
Yeah, so this is an expectation. So
Another thing is mental health is kind of new still in terms of I don't want to say practice, in terms of something that we talk about, awareness and stuff like that. Because, obviously throughout years, we've only thought physical health was the only thing we needed to worry about. But we never really, doctors and stuff never really paid attention to mental health until 1900s, really. And because of that, there's a lot of things that we don't know about mental health. Nowadays, we see it more often because of social media. We're able to see everybody and how they interact with the world now. Realizing that mental health is a thing that's very common. I mean, not just common, but it affects us on a daily basis. So it's very important that we, become aware of that so that we can fix it if we need to. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's definitely important to talk about it because men seem to hide it a lot, hold it in. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think so. For question number 2, I do have. So why do men not seek mental health? Why do you think that men don't make it vulnerable, to seek that they need it?
I think specifically within the Black community, we don't. It's not something we talk about, right? I mean, therapy is not really talked about in the Black American household, and cost. It's extra cost on top of a dentist, on top of a regular physical doctor, and sometimes, and a lot of times, it's more expensive. A lot of us were diagnosed young with having ADHD and thinking that the pills was the only thing that we needed. And, we don't really go far into mental health like we should with every other kind of, doctor or dentist or whatnot. We need to talk to a therapist about as much as we, go to a doctor or a dentist. And so that's the main reason why is because it's not a common practice in our households. that's one of the main reasons why we don't really deal with our mental health. I mean, obviously, our parents, our grandparents never talked to a therapist for real in a lot of our households. So yeah, that's why we don't really talk about it as much.
Yeah, I think it's more like it's becoming more common about it because like back then we were younger, but a lot of people don't, look at that upbringings into that. So when you get to an age of a man, it's like, dang,
Facts.
There is no like help or anything for it.
I think another factor is other men will see it as like weakness. And like, especially you a kid, when you're a kid specifically, that is like, they find out you talking to a therapist or something like that.
Yeah.
You look like
something wrong, like
something
you,
wrong
yeah.
with you. And you feel like something wrong with you. And it's better like socially to just hide it. Socially.
No, that's true for men.
And we can't express that because again, for that same reason, that's like a magnet for like abuse of whatever sort. So, as a man, it's the same situation. Like your brain is thinking, this is embarrassing for one. Even if nobody else knows I'm talking to a therapist. I'm talking to a therapist. I know I'm talking to a therapist.
Right.
So it takes a certain amount of vulnerability to actually accept that you have something that you need to work on mentally. Because it might just be denial too. So because of that.
So yeah, question 4 kind of relates to what you just said. Like, does it lower a man's self-esteem? Because, a man is so strong. Like, they have to be the man. They have to be so macho. So does it lower y'all's self-esteem because you went to seek help?
Because we went to seek help, I don't think it shouldn't. I think any person looking at another dude as being weak because he went to go see a therapist is foolish. I know everybody needs to see a therapist. It's not a thing where it's like, oh, he doesn't have to. No, I think everybody needs to talk to a therapist at least one time, twice, in your lifetime. Obviously more than that, but the first step is to go in the first place. So, it's really childish if somebody's trying to talk. Oh yeah, he went to go talk to a therapist. It's kind of crazy. So no, I mean that just shows the character of the person who's laughing at the dude. You know what I'm saying? And that's on them. But no, it should never weaken makes anybody look weak or have a, they shouldn't be look bad because they went to therapy.
Yeah. Yeah, but like what you were saying prior before that, you was like, even if you did seek it, in your head that you're seeking help.
Yeah.
So does that...
So it's like, okay, so my point is with that is like when you're younger, right, it's looked on a certain way, you know what I mean? It is.
Okay.
To Kell's point, as a mature adult, you shouldn't care about it.
Gotcha.
However, when you're young, that's your development years. So if you have to defend your masculinity per se at a young age when you don't know what it is yet, you're gonna avoid any sort of indicator of weakness or unsuitability. In the case of just to repeat the question one more time so I can answer properly for the third one.
Does it lower a man's self-esteem to seek help because a man has to be strong, macho?
So it shouldn't, like Kellen said,
right?
But it does for some men. Like even with me, when I was learning like certain leadership at my last job, I had to step back and accept that I wasn't good at everything. But as I say, like I said, you have to have humility to accept that you're not good at everything or something is wrong. You have to know there's a problem before you can solve the problem.
Right.
But if you're resilient to the possibility of having a problem, then you're not going to be able to solve the problem. So to Kellen's point, somebody should see a therapist, like anybody, man and woman should see a therapist at least once or twice to have an analysis, like a psychoanalysis, to see how you're thinking is how you're thinking a logical, like the framework, because a lot of people don't think logically. And that possibly has something to do with that.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, that is very true. So we're going to go to question number 5. What is the main cause of a man to have mental health issues? Like, what are some of the things that it derives from that you feel like the main cause of a man to have those problems? Ooh, that's a tough one.
Why you over here being quiet, man?
Let's see what you got to say. What is the main cause for a man to have mental health issues? What are some things that it derives from? Like, what do you think causes for a man to have it? because I know prior Kell was saying like it could start at a young age. That could be one factor, but like, what do you feel like it could be?
Anything really. It can start from by family. Start from that. It can start from relationship wise, bad relationships. For me, just those two. Really.
So relationships. So you're saying one of the things it could come from relationships. Whether okay.
It's definitely a culmination of just everyday life.
It can be a lot.
I mean, you know,
You get fired from work.
your dog died.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true though.
It's like
A
trauma
man is
recovery.
not best friend.
You
Yeah.
spent your last bit of money on a date.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now you sit for real.
And you ain't getting none? Over with.
that's the worst. That's the worst thing. Huh?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna need help after that.
You took it out with your last. You said, you know what? I'm gonna spend this money because I know it. I know I'm gonna get it. And she's like, oh, thank you for the meal. I gotta go somewhere else.
Yeah, she-
And you already know where else she going.
Yeah.
You spiraling after that.
What in the world? Okay, I guess that does bring to
So
like.
to that point, there's a lot of paranoia too, though.
Yeah,
In fact,
no,
man get paranoid, like you know.
We think just as much as women. Like, and
I think it's worse with men though.
I think
What?
We don't express it.
I think we just all overthink.
Oh,
I think
maybe,
people
yeah.
We
overthink.
don't express it.
Yeah, we don't.
When a girl is going through like something,
They'll tell you.
They let everybody, people that shouldn't even know.
They'll be like, I think you're
Right.
cheating on me because of this.
They're
thing.
not gonna tell you.
As a guy, you just watching. You just. Yeah, she
You're
probably
like,
cheated
hold
on
up,
me.
that's weird.
Oh my
That was a
goodness.
little aggressive of a hug there.
Yeah.
She just quickly hanged up on the phone.
Oh man.
She ain't text me back for
And she
16
ain't-
hours.
You feel me? Maybe her phone died, but maybe
So
something
yeah.
else is going on.
Wow.
You know
I mean,
what?
it could be a number of things.
Yeah.
Mental health is affected by like a number of things.
She ain't called me.
Depending on the
It's
person.
5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. She ain't talked to me all day long. I hit her up.
But you
this morning.
see, the main thing they said
Paranoid.
it's all about it's kind of towards women. That's the only thing that they really said to women. But it could be more. It could be
It could be
more.
family.
I mean, there's other things though.
It could be
Yeah.
family. You
But
can have-
majority,
That's just the
majority
most
of it,
social part of it.
Majority,
I think
social wise,
Yeah, socially, yeah, it didn't. Because I mean, most men don't really like. You care. You'll probably care what another nigga might say. Maybe, maybe, but most of the time, not really. Like it's, bro, I don't care. Like you got whatever going on. I don't care. And that's part of our mental. That's part of our mental health, though. Like having guys like get on you about stuff. That's like part of our mental
That's like
health.
the development.
Sometimes it takes you down. Sometimes it brings you up, but it doesn't.
You're saying
develop.
when other guys get what do you
like
say?
make fun of you and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like, as a group of
Okay.
guys, like we're gonna make fun of each other. That's part of our mental. That's part of our like healing,
Mm-hmm.
like ripping off the old layers and
Yeah.
building new layers. Like
Yeah.
other men help you build up by like sometimes tearing you down.
That's
Now,
like therapy. For
look
us.
at the tear. You gotta
To
pay
be
attention
honest.
to how they're tearing you down, though.
Yeah.
Some niggas are haters.
Yeah.
They're not tearing. They trying to tear you down just for tearing down sake. But your real friends, they gonna try and tear you down in a way to build you back up.
They're trying to tell you the truth.
Like you over, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And your
Like,
friend,
oh,
yeah,
you
that
over
friend
here,
said the truth, yeah.
you over here doing this, that, and the other, bruh. The situation is this. We're trying to tell you is this. You stupid. You a simp.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
dang.
Like they're trying to help
That's
you.
how you acting right.
Y'all-
If they're real
You
feel
friends.
me?
If they're real friends.
No, that's true.
Now some people don't know how to say it right. Like you probably looking like you what? Like,
Yeah,
some people don't know how to
I'm
say it,
female,
but-
of course.
But you get the message though. Like,
Yeah,
most
I do.
important part of it is that they get the message. I need him to understand. Hey, bro, look, that was party.
Don't do it no
You
more.
feel me? You can't be doing that, bro. You messing up the whole group right now. Like just because of what they had going on personally, and then the guy might be mad at first. You
Yeah.
feel me? Even I've gotten criticism. I'm angry at
Yeah.
first,
Yeah.
and I go home and I think about it. I'm like, you know what?
They were just trying
Have
to.
my
That is funny. It's okay.
You know what I mean? But that's like having a therapist. Like men are therapists to each other,
Yeah.
not qualified therapists. But we
Yeah.
do what we can. When we see something going on with our friend, it's our responsibility. Like I see somebody not doing well on a like with money, bro. They spending money.
Yeah.
They don't got money to spend. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
You need to tighten up.
You throwing like you like a rapper.
Oh my
Like, what are you
goodness.
doing right now? So, cook.
Okay.
Or, don't spend the money on the food or something like that. You feel me?
I like that.
That's
Okay.
our job as friends. So,
For question number 6, how does mental health affect men in their relationship in their life? For example, spouses, children, and their workspace. Like if you're mentally not there, like let's say you're going through something, you have a problem. in your personal experience or your thoughts, like how does that affect you if you have a spouse, your children, your workspace? How does that affect people around you involved as being a man?
There's a question in applications. They say, do you change, like, do you have a lot of mood changes? It's a different way that they.
I know exactly what you're saying. They have a lot
how do you work with your mood or whatever? And that's one of those questions where it's asking if you're having problems at the house, can you work effectively? It's the same. I mean, mental health will it literally affects your everyday life. Like I'm talking about all the way from when you wake up till when you go to sleep. Like your dreams, even how you sleep, is affected by your mental health. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
So it's definitely going to affect your relationships. Obviously, if you're having problems with your mental and your girl make you mad, you might snap in a way that's more, harsh than you would otherwise. You know what I mean? With your kids, a lot of the times you might hear about child abuse is because that person who's enacting the abuse has mental problems. You know what I'm saying? It's a mental thing mostly when it comes to that kind of stuff. Obviously, anything that seems logical and they do something the opposite of that logic is based on mental health. So, and anything, whether it's relationships, whatever, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
I like that. Anybody got anything to piggyback off that?
I think just like for instance, like if I lost a family member and I gotta go to work the next day, bro, I'm not gonna be the same person at work.
No, yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
That's understandable.
But for some people, and I'm one of those some people, I need to if I'm pissed, I gotta go to work because I can't be at home. No, I can't.
Oh, wow.
Be at home. I'll be better at work. To be honest, better once I'm working.
Okay.
Because I'm more locked in because I'm not trying to think about what just happened.
Right.
Gotta be my what's the word? The outlet for whatever I'm going through. Because I think for work life, some people can't do that though. Some people they go through something. And they shut down. They're not affected.
Staying in bed.
Yeah, they're not affected. They gotta just sleep type or something. They gotta go outside and just take a walk. Me, I have to do work.
Oh wow.
So I have to do work. And actually, the worse it is, the more work and the more intensity it has to be. Like I gotta go to the gym, go to work, go home, go back to the gym. I gotta do a lot of things. I was maybe because I grew up that way. If something happened when I was a kid, I have to go work out or I have to go play ball or something. I can't just sit at home. Bro.
I feel like that's a good outlet though. Like you said. Yeah, I mean, instead of being a lot of people go through things they are depressed. Yeah. And they are standoffish, don't talk to me, don't do nothing. But they say when you go through things like that, it is important to be around people and be that. So that's a good, I like that. Yeah, that is good.
Because I think depression specifically, and it's not for the chemical depression that you're born with, right? I'm just talking for the people that be having it randomly. That is because, in my opinion, right, and I'm not a mental health expert, because you sit in it. If you're sitting in it, then you're going to stay in it. But if you're moving, it'll move past you faster, in my opinion. Right? Even when you break up with somebody, right? You break up with somebody, go outside. Be outside. You'll do way better outside than you will do at home.
No, that's real. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's true.
Is it bigger or what's going on?
I can't.
What's going on?
Well, next question.
But I'm saying people I think men are more paranoid. Maybe I'm talking about myself. I am talking about myself, but I'm paranoid.
No, there's a lot of people
if I'm going through things, I'm paranoid about what I'm going through. I'm nervous about whatever. That's why I'm always trying to be ready for things.
Yeah.
But that's something you gotta figure out how to turn to advantage. You feel me?
No, I
stoicism a little bit with that. But
that's fine. Okay,
you gotta be stoic.
Question number 7. I would like all of you guys' thoughts on this one. For 7, do you believe that the reason why in the Black community the percentages are higher than any other race to become suicidal, jail, and health problems because from African Americans not seeking help?
Sorry.
Yes. It's a simple yes. Yeah. We don't believe in mental health. Like Kell was saying earlier, kids growing up, black kids growing up have ADHD. Their parents are like, no, you just need to pay attention. We always brush it under the rug. You tell your parents, I got depression. Yeah. like, you just need to find Jesus.
Yeah,
It's like, you know,
like they simplifying a bigger problem.
yeah,
Like,
we do have a problem, and we do need to, you know, address it. So yes, I do think mental health plays a big part on why African Americans are incarcerated, suicides, all of that. Like a lot of that stuff is based on that.
Black people commit suicide.
yeah, our suicide
Number
rates are
one.
high,
Yeah.
bro. Yes,
Yeah.
ridiculously.
You just don't
Black
hear about it.
men
They don't talk about
specifically.
us, you know.
Black
so-
men.
That's why I was like,
We don't do it as glamorized. We don't talk.
You're not gonna see us making a video of it.
No,
We
just do it.
Bridge type shit.
Okay.
But that's why, like,
I'm like,
the
what?
video, like, the mental health is awareness is because a lot of people lack, especially in men. Like Tyler said earlier, like, we get that around females and stuff, but people don't focus, like, on a man in general. And, like, that's why they started the whole mental healthness awareness month dedicated towards men, because a lot of people lack that. We don't get that. And so, like, that's why I was trying to ask, like, in our community, with the percentage rates being that high before African Americans not seeking help, like, what is that?
Let me speak on a on a how can I say? Let me just say this on a personal level. Like I said, it all comes from the family first. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like parents kind of ignore us as kids. I'm gonna say that in my experience. That's just how I feel. Like I said, they'll say, oh, you'll go to your mom or your dad and be like, oh, I feel like I'm going through a depression or something like that, and your parents might tell you, oh, well, if I'm not depressed, then shoot, you know.
No, yeah, it's
you know
real.
what I'm saying? So then, you know, if a child hear your parents say that, then it's just like, well, dang, you don't even care about me, so I'll just you know, go through this myself.
Yeah,
Right,
I'll figure it
right.
out.
You know,
Type
that's
situation.
true.
When you're a kid, you're not really equipped to figure that specific part of your life out.
And since we're talking about men, you know, as a man, I feel like if you're a young teenager or a boy, and you hear your parents say something like that, then it's just like, okay, then if it's like that, then maybe I need to just take this in myself and I'll just deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we get older, that's just how men start to think. So I definitely say I definitely say that's where it most definitely comes from. Parent wise, and parents need to watch what they say to their kids, because that definitely affects
Their
them.
word. No, yeah.
So yeah,
They look up to, a lot of people look up to their parents. That's the number one place they go, you know, to get knowledge, or even if they're feeling any type of way, the number one person they're going to go to is their majority. They will go to their friends and stuff, but the parents is like with you. They know you, they live with you. So if it doesn't start off at home, it's going to become a bigger problem out in society.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think black parents just don't see it the same. When a black parent thinks depression, they think, oh, life is whatever. I'm going to shoot myself, da 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 da. Or like, I have ADHD, like, oh, I need drugs in order to pay attention. Like, they don't see it as it is. They see it as the negative, like what white society has kind of shown them what it's supposed to be. I think that's really what happens. Like, really, really, they're comparing it.
No, yeah, all the time.
What do you think, Kell?
I mean, the black community is people don't realize this, they don't really think about it. The black community is one of the most newer races in the world, you know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, you know, we came from Africa, right? Like since the 1600s. And mind you, today, majority of us do not know our ancestors, you know what I'm saying? And we as a community haven't been able to successfully or even safely build a foundation for ourselves until recently. And we're talking about, since Jim Crow? And even after that,
67 years ago.
It took years after that, you know what I'm saying? Every other race has already established their foothold in the world, you know what I'm saying? You can think of any other race. Some of them have been displaced, you know, like the Jews and stuff like that. But even then, they still have an ancestry, one that they can go back to and trace to. We're still trying to find that today. You know what I mean? So it's definitely going to be a thing where, you know, when it comes to therapy, like I said, this is something new to everybody. Mental health is new to everybody, and we're expected to catch up to everybody as a race, even though we're brand new still. And we're safely right now, currently able to actually establish our own race in a way that we can build up just like them now. So of course, you know what I'm saying, that's going to affect us because we have to catch up to everybody else. They've been able to go get therapy. They've been able to build up their finances, their money to get this kind of help for themselves.
Right.
But in reality, it's just, you know, it's not real. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really happening because we really can't catch up yet. It's gonna take some time. I think maybe in 2050, maybe we might start going to therapy as a collective. Maybe that might be the norm. But you can't call it, right? So that's one of the reasons why we don't take it seriously or even deal with it, is because we're still trying to catch up to everybody else. The jail system is, you know, with the stigma of black people and how we deal with law enforcement, that's one of the main reasons why we're in jail a lot, because, you know, they're scared of us. I mean, in the media, we looking like we robbing and killing everybody, stealing. And so, you know, law enforcement, who are just regular people like us, think that black people is out here just murdering people. So they're going to try to lock us up as much as possible. So add that on with mental health, add that on with us being a new race. Yeah, man. I mean, we got a lot going on. We have a lot going on. You feel me? A lot of stigmas, a lot of crazy history. So, yeah, I mean, it's deep.
Yeah.
For real, you know what I'm saying? But that's the main thing, honestly. It goes farther than just the surface of us. And, you know, we need therapy more probably than any other race out here.
Yeah, I agree.
Just being real.
Yeah.
Yeah. On another point with Kellen's point that he just made too, our parents specifically, they probably didn't have anyone to talk to either, because a lot of this mental health stuff didn't exist.
Yeah,
so their situation was probably like, oh, he gonna have to get over this. I gotta get these bills paid. For real.
No,
like,
that's the truth.
I wish I could help him type, because I gotta give grace to him specifically, because when I was younger, I felt the same way. Like, I was like, damn, y'all don't really care about me sometimes. You know what I mean? But looking back and seeing what they went through, and I'm like, okay, you probably got home.
Yeah.
And was done, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was finished, you know, because I get home from work after 12 hours of work, finished.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have good days, sometimes, you know, but they are doing that in a place where they are probably persecuted too, depending on what generation they're in. And you know, people going through the things with the promotions or whatever, they might have got ducked off on them. Stuff is happening with the parents. That's also trickling down to the kids. I don't know if y'all believe in generational curses or anything like that. That kind of, it cascades down where it's like Kellen said too, we don't, like, our ancestry is not established. We know our great-grandparents probably, some of us don't actually know our great-grandparents. And there is no, like, lineage of, like, what's the word? I use the word culture. There's no real lineage of culture unless you, like, from, like, an island. And that's because they got free earlier. To be honest, that's the only reason they got free, because like maybe 100 years earlier than the people in America. And that affects a lot, because every generation kind of improves upon the next one. We just started from slavery, where we were property and not human beings. So we're going to treat our kids like, look, we have to get this done. Like, whatever you feel like, whatever, it don't matter. Your feelings don't matter. You feel me? I need you to focus. You can't read. You have dyslexia. They didn't know what dyslexia was, really.
Yeah.
Like
back then.
60 years ago, they didn't know what dyslexia is. They over here like, you can't read, bro. I'm gonna need you to read, bro. I'm gonna whoop you.
Yeah.
Like, probably like,
that's
I know,
true.
like my dad's generation had to go through with their parents, because they told me stories. You feel me? They got their mental health was that. You feel me? Like, you can't you acting up in school. You can't stay still.
No, it was.
You know what I mean?
You can't afford to have anything else going on.
Yeah,
life is already hard. We're being black in America.
Yeah,
I can't come pick you up from school. Like,
you got to figure it out. Like, we got to make this money.
They bullying you. Be there.
You got to make it happen. So it's just generational.
Your feelings.
Sure. Yeah.
The world don't care about your feelings. You got to work 4 times harder.
Yeah.
All that came from that. They had that knowledge based off their experience. So all we have, even me, my experience has limited my intellect. I know that, and everybody's experiences limit their intellect, because we only have what we experience. Mental health is completely new. So with that has just kind of handicapped us, because if we didn't have the limitations, who knows where we would be. We know how to handle our ADHD, our OCD, to use it effectively, because those are just ways of your thinking. But they didn't know that back then. They just moved past the problems back then.
No, and that's really that's really true. But that's sad, because like Kell said, it goes way back, and then even with you was like it goes back from your parent to their parents.
Yeah.
And he said, Amor said, it starts when you was a child. So it is sad because our parents was trying to be parents, but lacking the fact of their kids' mental health.
They thought Albert Einstein was retarded.
Yeah, no, that's true. They did.
And it was about to beat him for it. Like,
Yeah.
like you can't, he's like, you can't talk.
Yeah.
Until he was like 5 or 6. And then he was autistic. They didn't have autism back then, so they thought he was retarded.
Yeah.
Whole time he was a genius. But you'll never know that until like he got away from that environment and then became a genius.
Yeah.
So.
That's sad. That's true, but very sad that it starts back then. So we're on question 8. As a man, are you comfortable with expressing that there is an issue?
I'll take this one.
Yeah.
I feel depends on. I guess you can say depends on who it is. I would say because
I'm not expressing it too.
Yes, because I'm not about to just express myself to anybody.
Amen.
I'm not about to do that.
No, yeah.
One thing I've learned, like anybody that I'm talking to or dealing with, unless you like someone who's like real, I'm not doing that because I've done that before with somebody who I was talking to, and then things went bad, and they just end up trying to throw it in your face.
Back at you.
Yeah, that's
So that's why I was
Talking
saying
about this on the pod last episode.
They use that against you, later on, Oh, with relationships, I don't ever.
Yes.
You'll never know. I tell them too. It's somebody could have died in my family. My grandma passed away earlier this year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or later last year. It was like December. Mm-hmm. Nobody knew.
Oh, wow.
Nobody knew until way later. I'm not letting nobody know.
And because you feel vulnerable.
And especially if I'm talking to somebody. If I'm talking to somebody, they did not know. No,
Yeah.
I'm handling something going on. I'm busy this week. That's what's happening.
He said,
That's what's happening.
Nobody know it.
But if something going on with me, like, no, nobody know. And that's toxic, probably, or not healthy, whatever. My mom know, my sister know, and my brother know, because I know they're not going to use it against me.
Right.
Everybody else, historically, when I was growing up as a kid, used it against me. So I completely understand. They're using it as soon as they're a moment of weakness and they have an opportunity, use it against you or talk shit. Pardon my language. No, that's what. To the masses, you feel me? People that don't need to know my business, No, not gonna happen. Nope.
Yeah. So you definitely gotta watch. As men, you gotta watch who you gotta trust who you're saying stuff to. Like telling your business, your personal life to. Mm-hmm. Because they're definitely like, some people can definitely use that against you. So me, I've learned that through the years. I've learned that. I said, oh no, like if you're not, and even sometimes your family can do that to you too.
Yeah.
But that's why you gotta know.
That's
you gotta
worse.
definitely know.
Yeah, that'd be the main one.
Yeah, you got.
Because it's like, man, you my family, bro.
Yeah, because you got definitely know, and you know who's in your life. You know who talks. You know that. So if you ain't like close to me, oh no, I'm not telling you that. So definitely gotta watch who you tell your personal business to. So yeah.
He said, I had to take that one. Okay, y'all, we're almost down. 2 more questions. Question number 9. What are ways that can keep a man's mind focused, balanced on things besides like what they're going through and negative thoughts? Like what are things for a man that will help you guys stay focused?
I got one thing. I'll make it quick. I know I've been answering a lot. I adopted a mentality called stoicism, like a philosophy.
Okay.
Focus on what you can control, disregard what you can't control.
I love
it. Best ability.
I love it.
That's the way that worked for me when I started to adopt it. It made my life way better. But I can't control. I can't do nothing about it. So
I like that.
Disregard it and give it to God or whoever you believe in. But what you can control, make sure you do your best with what you can't control. So that's my strategy with that.
I would say adopt a dream. Get a dream, like a real one. We grow up going to school. They'd be like, what is your dream? And, astronaut, doctor, whoop. Mm-hmm. Really hone in on that, focus on that. You know what I'm saying? Have a balance to where if you have to work, you know what I'm saying, involve your dream. Like, really go for it. That'll definitely put you it'll allow you to tunnel vision towards something that's better than what you got going on. And when you're progressing towards something that you know will be better than what you're doing right now, your mental will have no choice but to feel, it'll be way better, you know what I'm saying, because you're progressing towards a happier ending, you know what I'm saying, or a happier lifestyle because you're going towards what you actually truly want to do within yourself. So definitely start thinking about what you want to do in life and go towards that heavily. You know what I'm saying? That will put you in such a way better mindset going forward.
I'll say find a hobby. Like you said, find what you like to do. Yeah, just find a hobby. That's all I got. Have fun.
Yeah. No.
You know, sometimes we sometimes get in that mode. Sometimes we find something that we like and we try to hurry up and achieve our goals, and we kind of lose focus of that. So I would definitely say, like, yeah, find a hobby that you like, but also sometimes you can also have fun too. So
That's a good one.
You just gotta accept yourself. There's really mental health comes to. I think a lot of the mental problems come from not accepting yourself and trying to run away from the problems in your head. Stop running from them. You have to confront them. You have to work through them. You have to accept that, right? A lot of people push them down and try to just say, "Oh no, I'm just move on to the next thing," or try to keep stacking things. Like y'all said, hobbies, finding something, being stoic even. It helps, like, you know, giving yourself an attitude of like things that are not in my control, I can't control. But I think the biggest thing is like finding you have to find yourself and understand yourself, and you have to learn how to vocalize that to others so that you can protect your mental health and you can continue to improve it. Because if you're constantly not, you know, finding or like accepting yourself, you're going to keep hurting yourself mentally, at least. Like if you're into doing something and because other people are against it, you know, it's going to cause you to have a negative effect on. It's going to have a negative effect on you because you're trying to do something that you're trying to hide something or whatever. And I don't mean this as like a metaphor, you know what I'm saying, or anything like that.
No, you're good.
But I mean, like, literally, like, find yourself, you know, like, figure out who you are and what you want to be and what you want to do in life and work towards that. Like, focus on that. And when situations come that may affect that goal or vision you have of yourself, then, you know, really look at that situation and ask yourself, why am I being affected by this? What is it? Why is it grating against my nature? And what do I need to do in order to be better, to not deal with that? You have to always just be constantly improving. It's the only real way you can do it. Just constantly improve yourself. That goes for anybody. Men, women, children, parents, whoever. Just constantly find ways to improve yourself.
I like that. No, I agree 100%. That's the only way you can. Only way you can do it. Okay, guys. Last but not least, what advice would you leave for men in their mental health journey? Like, what advice would you give them if they are going through something? Like,
I mean, that last question, really, you know, find yourself. Yeah, for sure. Like, I think everybody's thing was, pretty much that advice. Like, just focus on something, then like focus on finding yourself too. Like, figure yourself out.
yeah, don't like I said, just find that right person to communicate with, because you don't want to just keep all that stuff on the day that you're going through. So just find the right person. Definitely
make it worse.
You're gonna explode.
Yeah.
You don't want to explode.
yeah.
I personally, and this is not for everybody. I smoke.
So see, I was gonna say.
A lot of people.
I was gonna say. This is bad.
If it's bad enough, me too.
No, this is bad. I was gonna say find an addiction. But like,
Moderation.
Well, what I was gonna say is some punani, but that'll make you. That'll put you.
That's
you
focusing on something you can control.
I'm about to say.
Of course, you know there's problems that come with that. So
I'm about to say this out mental.
You gotta have a balance with it. You can't overdo it. Anything that you're having too much fun with, you can't do too much of it. That's just real life, right? You know what I'm saying? So I smoke. You know what I'm saying? It allows me to, you know, get my own thoughts, but in a healthy way in which I can start analyzing everything that's going wrong and try to fix it instead of just smoking just to get rid of it. And I actually sit and actually think about the problems I got going on, and I actually actively attempt to fix them. You know what I'm saying? You know, some people drink. I don't prefer drinking to do that because it's not, you know, that could become a real addiction. Tyler said, you know what I'm saying, get into them cheeks, you feel me? You can. It definitely helps. It's a good temporary fix.
Some dopamine helps, man. Dopamine helps. Whether
video games or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, movies.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful because dopamine is addictive.
Yeah.
People aren't addicted to the substance; they're addicted to the dopamine.
Facts.
But they know that substance will bring that dopamine, so they're gonna be addicted.
No, that's true.
Yeah, but just have balance that shit. You can't balance that stuff. You can't have too much of a good thing. You know what I mean? So definitely, doses, small doses, whatever. You know how you do it. But for me, it works wonders. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell everybody to do it, but that's what I do to get over it.
My thing is journal and reflect. So if it's a lot of times, a lot of the things that are causing, well, specifically for men, right? I'll give the kids clemency, but for men, a lot of things that are causing like the things that we go through, sometimes if you analyze it, are self-inflicted. So it's important to analyze and see why you feel the way you feel about whatever happened or whatever you're going through. Why you feel the way you feel that way, is it justified? And then how can we make sure that doesn't occur again?
No.
You know what I mean? And if you journal about it, it gives the guy more control. And I feel like that's where a lot of that, the higher levels of mental health problems come from, a lack of control. Like somebody killing themselves because their girlfriend cheated on them or some shit, right? That may be a lack of analysis. Because if you analyze the situation, you're going to come to the conclusion that if you kill yourself, then in a way, I'll let this thing defeat me. You know what I mean? But if you're in like mountains of debt or something like that, and there's no way you can come by, like you're going to live in destitution for the rest of your life, it's almost justified. But it is. It's almost justified. You have to give them that for the people of the Great Depression who jumped off, the skyscraper and stuff. But you have to figure out why that happened. If you really analyze it, and then make sure it doesn't happen again, or maybe find a way to survive whatever you're going through. You know what I mean?
I agree 100%. Thank you guys so much for coming onto my channel. Their information will be linked below as well. They do their own podcast as well, so check them out. They talk about different discussions as well that are good for you. And since this is Mental Health Awareness Month for Men, there's resources and links below if you guys need to seek help. I'll have that below for you. So until next time, I thank you guys. Bye-bye.